other big storyline from the Dolphins game. So
Yep.
Tua has a back injury. I mean, essentially, I think the down low here is that a lot of people think that this is a head injury and that they more or less gamed the concussion protocols. Is this what you think?
So it's tough saying, right? Like you don't want to accuse anybody of anything, especially.
Sure.
I mean, I'm a fan of that.
Hey, let's stick with the hot. It's Triple Cross. We're good with the hot takes here. If you think it was a head injury and that they gamed something or that they, that they did something here, so I'm going to move it forward a little bit so we can see the hit.
Yeah, here it goes.
I don't think it's on this one. Oh yeah, it is. Nope, it's not. So
okay, coming up.
Okay, here we go. So it's not really a big hit. It's just one of these. And
so falls back and the snap back into the ground. That's like the earth hitting you. Like,
right. Yeah. That's
bumble, complete collapse.
Comes
get
down,
up.
Yes.
And let's stumble a little again. He's looking woozy.
Yeah, now they're holding him up. He's shaking his head.
I don't know who that O lineman is off the top of my head, but I mean, just good looking out, right? Because if he collapses twice, I don't even think you can sell the narrative.
He's not coming back to the game. So he walked himself into the tunnel. But yeah, here he is getting up again, shaking his head. Yeah, you good? Yeah, I'm good. Oh, not good. Okay, I'm gonna hold you up because that's what we're gonna. We just we need to pretend that you're able to stay up on your own. Okay, so I think to the untrained eye, it certainly looks like a head injury.
For sure.
That said, I'm not a doctor. I think it's very possible that like some neck whiplash. They said back, it could be upper like vertebrae, maybe. It could be like neck back. I think there's a potential that kind of injury could make you a little stumbly. The body is weird, man. Like you take a shot to the chin, which isn't really your head, and you'll be that same way. You'll be like a little stumbly and out of it.
Well, I think we should cover that happened right before halftime. So obviously huge break.
They had a long time
in halftime. And then we didn't finish the story. He comes back in to the game. He gets cleared from concussion protocol.
Yes.
Comes back into the surprise of literally everybody. And they win the game.
Everyone thought he was out.
I don't think anybody thinks they win that game if he doesn't come back in. So it mattered big time. That's a divisional opponent, divisional rival. They're probably the two best teams in that division. I don't think that's a hot take anymore. And I've seen some stuff in comments on videos and things that like a skateboarder mentioned, like, hey, as a skateboarder, like I've landed on my lower back, thought I was fine, stood up, and then my legs give out because there's some kind of weird disconnect almost.
There's a nerve. Yeah.
It doesn't like he's walking, he's fine, he's down, he's up, he's stumbling. Like I think
the head shakes
woozy is the word I would use. He seems so woozy, and that's so head injury-esque. Like
it does seem head injury-esque. I think I don't think he had a concussion. I think he legitimately passed the concussion protocols both last week to come back into the game and this week, mainly because of the risk, right? Like, yes, it is a key matchup, but it's week 3. I mean, this is who you're thinking is going to be your franchise quarterback. It's like, look, you knew a loss to the Bills was pretty like possible anyway. Their new head coach is in year 1. Like, is he going to push something like that in his first year as head coach? And he's not really that kind of guy, right? Like,
you can't afford a re-injury.
If you're a doctor, right? Like, this guy was just stumbling around out there. Like, we better be sure. I've had a concussion before, and given I wasn't in the NFL, but doctors are very, very cautious to put you back out there if they think that you're like there's some kind of swelling in your brain, because it only takes one more shot at that point. You could die, right? And then they're liable. So I don't think I think he passed the concussion protocols. I think maybe it's a head. Like, I think it's maybe a back injury, maybe a back or neck head thing. This is probably kind of this whole area. I bet this whole area is stiff and sore, right?
Well, what weakens that narrative is I think it's supposed to be either lower back or head. So it's not really like that's not really the narrative is that it's a like upper back neck injury. It's like a lower back, like, oh, my legs went out because
did they say lower back?
I'm pretty sure that's the official narrative, but just to like put my 2 cents in on it, I leave a little bit more room for wiggling around the narrative. I think Mike McDaniel, I would never accuse of doing it. He's a player's guy. He's the first time head coach. Like you said, you can't afford to like get some like year-long suspension when you're off this hot start. You definitely can't afford a re-injury to Tua. That could be just catastrophic. well beyond just football. Even that could be horrible.
I
But
mean,
if something
the fallout if something goes wrong after you
right.
pushed
But
a
what I think
concussed
is,
guy back onto the field is too. There's just too much downside.
what I think is unaccounted for a little bit in the discussion that I've seen is a guy like Tua who's missed a significant amount of legitimate opportunity in his career from going to college to the pros. I mean, the injuries that he suffered, they held him back in draft stock and like where he went, like in starting opportunity, things like that. I wouldn't put it past a guy who's had that kind of feeling in the past to game the system himself. Maybe. I mean, listen, if you were a competitor and you had a concussion,
yep,
and you thought you could get one over the doctor, it's an independent doctor. It's not just a team doctor. Third party.
I think the point is to try and answer correctly.
That's what I mean. So like, if
the point is to try and be correct in the concussion protocols. Look, if your eyes are if your eyes can't follow a light, you can't make them follow a light. You know what I mean?
Sure.
If you don't know what day it is, you can't know what day it is. If
you got 1 out of 7
stuff, if you can game the concussion protocols, then that's the point, right? Like the point is that it did not catch the concussion.
That's it. And I think they built. I do think there's some. I don't think there's any wrongdoing per se, but I think they built a separate narrative to try to confuse the issue a little bit. I think there's no way he doesn't have a head injury, whether or not it's concussion. Who's to say? I think
concussion is such a rattling of the brain from the brain moving back and forth, right? Like it's a very wishy-washy type of injury anyway. And the side effects people experience from it are kind of all over the place. So anyway, we got to move on. Let's go get into some other upsides.
Anyway, I'll just say Bills still the best team in football. I think they would win in a rematch. I'd love to see it, but good luck to Tua and Mike McDaniel and all those guys. I hope Tua is healthy. They're about to play the game coming up here tonight. And I just hope everything goes well for them because it would be a nightmare to ruin their season. So
I do think that I tend to you know what? I'll go with the opposite take and I'll call the Dolphins the best team in football. I'm not writing it in pen though. It's in pencil right now.